Look here, guys. Have you ever went to a job, got hired, and got fired the same day within about a couple of minutes? I know. That's some fucked up shit, ain't it? I know it. Let's talk about this shit. Now, I got hired on at a business as a PRN, right? Working with people that needed some assistance, I'm going to call it assisted living place. So I got hired on last week, right? Some things came up. I talked to one of the owners of the business. After I sent them emails, I sent them 2 emails, let them know what was going on. And I asked them which location I was supposed to be going to, right? So it did not specify in the email which location I was supposed to be going to. And so I looked at the card that the woman gave me. And the location she had gave me on that card was an hour and 20 minutes away. Yeah, baby, that was almost an hour drive. When I put it in on the Uber, that was like about a $30 drive, trip one way. So I was asking her to give me some clarification. Well, I didn't get that information till late. And when she called me, I had already called the other place, and I was asking them, the same thing. And no, I didn't. I take that back. I called the other place, texted them one or the other, and I told them that I was running behind. I was purchasing me, a vehicle. Which, it didn't take but a couple of minutes, I thought. It took like maybe 45 minutes. I got a call and asked, was I coming? I said, yeah, I'm still coming. I said, I'm just running behind. She said, okay. And then I got a call from the owner. The owner said, I told her everything that was going on, and she said, why don't you just call back over there and tell them to reschedule you for next Wednesday? Well, that's what I did. I called back over there, and I spoke to, I guess it was a receptionist. And I told the receptionist exactly what I was told about one of the owners. And she said, okay, that she would relay the message, to the office manager. Well, when the office manager called me, I told her exactly what I was told. To ask her to reschedule. And she was saying, well, you didn't show up, this, that, and other. She said, you didn't let nobody know, and now it's a few minutes before you're supposed to be here. I said, well, I did speak with the owner, and she told me to ask you to reschedule. She said, oh, you did? I said, yeah. She said, well, I'm going to reach out to her, and I'm going to talk to her and find out, exactly what she want me to do, and find out if she actually talked to you. Long story short, I got an email yesterday, a text message. Actually, I got a text message. And it told me, it says something about a welcome to, this company. And but the position that I had applied for and got hired for had been downgraded. And in fact, instead of me working in the field that I have the experience in, they put me in a lower field, which is still, I have experience in that as well. I popped up at the job, on Wednesday. Just like they said, be there for 10 a.m. Hell, I was there 20 minutes before time, right? I sat down after I got my login sheet, but before they started putting me in the computer, to be able to clock in and out. And I ran into a lady, when I got ready to go to, I had to go to the ladies' room, relieve myself. So I go down there, and I'm having a conversation with one of the coordinators. And we got along real good, we laughed and talked and all of that stuff, and I came back and sat down. Then I saw the owner. She showed up. She passed by with another lady that was dressed very nice. And I didn't mean to totally ignore her. She asked me, were you here? Are you here for orientation? No, for interview. I told her, I don't know. And she say, well, why? So I walk over to her and I open up my emails and I let her read the email that I received, saying something about I was terminated. Now, how the hell you get terminated on the day that you go to work? And I told her, I say, I think there's some misunderstandings here. And she said, well, she said, you can talk to Lisa. I say, yeah, okay. But she had a conversation with Lisa too. And they were standing there talking, but she had like a poker face. And I said to myself, either she tried not to show any emotions or, something else was going on. Well, Lisa came over to me. I didn't mean to call no names, y'all. My bad. But anyway, the lady came over to me, and she said, you're here for an interview. You're not here for orientation. I said, really? She said, yeah. I said, oh. And she said, you're the lady that had the car issue, right? I said, yeah. And she said, okay. And I sat there for about maybe 10, maybe 15 minutes. Then she asked me to come into her office. I go to her office, and she told me, she said, well, you've been terminated. She said, because you didn't call me or nothing. I told her, yeah, I did. I spoke with you. I don't remember talking to you. How you not remember? She said, you didn't call me and ask me to reschedule. I say, yeah, I did. She said, no, you didn't. I said, yeah, I spoke with the receptionist, and she said you weren't available, and she was going to relay the message to you. She said, nobody talked to me. Girl, for the last three days, I'd been in a happy mood, right? I don't care what go on. I found myself laughing about it. Maybe this is what God want me to be, take everything in stride. So she kept on harping on that about the car issue. She did not want to talk about anything else. Then she said, well, I spoke with the owner, and the owner said that she's never had that conversation with you. Well, how the hell did I know to ask you to reschedule me for next Wednesday if I hadn't spoke with somebody? Common sense says apparently I had to speak with somebody, right? So anyway, y'all, I'm sitting at the house over here, chilling like a villain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I could take this a little further, because I could say something like, well, damn, maybe they had a problem with me, maybe because maybe they feel like I'm too old, to work there. But I seen some other people there, that was applying for jobs that looked much older than I did. I do. And then I said, well, it could be my resume, because it only did tell me from the beginning that I was overqualified to work in their establishment. And I told her, I said, look, girl, I need a job. I say, I don't have to have no elaborate job. I just need a job, because I need to move. I need to get me a vehicle. I need to keep on moving, right? And I explained to her my dilemma, what I'm going through and stuff. And so she said she was going to go ahead on and get me a job. And she did that. That's what I thought. But now, I seem like I'm almost back to, square one when it comes to getting a job. Now, this ain't been no easy thing for me, and I want y'all to know it ain't been easy. I've been trying to get a job ever since, September? I had a job. No, I take that back. I got a job in October. My bad. All right? But that job was a commission job. You didn't sell nothing. Your ass didn't get paid. Hell, I think I made about $50 the whole time I was at that place, Don't get me wrong, I mean, you have to be more like a copywriter, when you got that kind of job, when you're working in that field. What I mean by that, you have to embellish your words. You have to make things seem very exciting. You have to not take no for an answer, all right? and there was about, oh my gosh, over 12 different appointments that was set, and did not get no sales on any of those, not one. But I did make $50 off of a small, apparatus that was sold. So I just didn't know, And then a little bit after that, some other stuff fell through. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, it's been pretty funky around here. It's like a funky monkey or something is on my tail, right? On my ass. But I'm gonna have to get rid of that monkey. I don't know where the hell it's coming from, but I don't need that shit in my life. And look at here. Maybe the woman thought I was gonna take her job, I'm gonna tell y'all, you having 2 doctor degrees make it very difficult for you to get a job. You have to downplay it, make it look like you're a dumb motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't got no education. No, I ain't never been to college. Oh, you know what I'm saying? In order for you to fit in. Well, damn, maybe old girl felt like I was gonna take her job. Maybe I intimidated her. You know, because when I did talk to the owner, I told her, I said, well, I'll take a manager position. She said, that's already filled. I said, okay. I said, well, I can work in the office. She said, I already got somebody there. I said, okay. I said, well, I can be a supervisor. She said, those are already taken too. I said, well, what you got? She said, well, all I have, is some nursing positions. I said, I'll take that. All right? So she asked me, do you want to work with Alzheimer's patients or you want to work with others? I told her it didn't matter, because it really didn't matter. I can get along with anybody, all right? I don't care if you got a good memory or bad memory. My ass can still get along with you, okay? Shoot, we'll be on the same boat, you know what I'm saying? You want to be forgetful? My ass going to be forgetful right along with you, okay? Mm-hmm. You want to be delightful? Baby, I'm the most delightful person in the world. Hell, I fool around there and throw some pennies up in the air and they come back down like Skittles. Hello. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to get creative on these motherfuckers, because they sure getting creative, on me and some of y'all too. Yeah. So, I came home I was just laughing. I mean, shit didn't hit me. Apparently, maybe it's not supposed to hit me, I don't know. Maybe they wanted me to be down in the dumps. My ass ain't down in the dumps, I mean, I try not to give too much recognition to people that do evil eye and shit like that. I had somebody told me, they was proud of me. They was glad that I was able to obtain a couple of things, God was moving for me. And I still believe God moving for me, Blessed me with a car. I got a car. All right, got me a job. I got the car the day after I got the job. And the last time the Lord blessed me, he blessed me with a car and a job at the same time. Same day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then some sidewine, the bitch decided that was too good for me, so she decided to have my vehicle towed. Girlfriend, boyfriends, y'all, people do some fucked up shit for fucked up reasons. They're afraid of you getting on your feet. And maybe they feel like that if I'd got on my feet or something that I was going to steal somebody's man. I am not after nobody's man. All I want is my own. I'm not after nobody's woman. I don't need that. All I'm trying to do is live my life and get the fuck on. All right? So maybe I need to pay more attention to my other things. I do write songs. I'm very creative. I write poetry, short stories, long stories. Hell, I've been a ghostwriter for a few people in the past. That ain't something I'm trying to do again, but that don't mean that I won't do it if I have to, right? I crochet, I knit, I know how to do, I know how to sew. I'm a seamstress, I type, I do all kind of stuff, Shoes. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell, what the fuck, what's going on? Why? Why is shit trying to go sideways for me? And maybe, just maybe, some bitch ass females and men, because you got some bitches that are men. Yeah, they don't even realize they bitches. They got a big old long hoe streak going right up and down their back. Sometimes they probably cash in their dick for a pussy. Hello. But I'm just saying, shit just going funky, So I'm going to write a poem about this shit. And if y'all want to check that poem out, all right, give it a little time. And you'll find it on my other channel called Liquid Black Poetry. All right. Well, thank you for coming over here, watching the bitching channel, because I'm bitching about it, but at the same time, I'm not been out of shape about this shit, I'm not going to say the Lady Prejudice, because the majority of people that work there are either Hispanic or copper-skinned people. But, maybe I came in there with too much confidence. Maybe she didn't like the idea that I can stand up for myself. And I speak fluently. And I don't blink my eyes. And I told her, I said, oh, baby, no, that's not the truth. Because I know what I did. And she tried to make it seem like I was a liar. If I start lying now, hell, I'm going to have to keep on lying. And one thing I don't like about trying to lie, because I tried this back in my 20s, shoot, you got to try to remember what the hell you said last time. That's why I don't lie. I'd rather be honest with you right off the rip. That way I don't have to try to memorize what I've already said, because I know I spoke the truth, you know. And if some of y'all on that lying shit, you need to get off of that pony, because that motherfucker ain't going to do nothing but run you down in the ground. Because you're going to be sitting down, did I say that? What did I say? I forgot what I told old boy, old girl. No, just be honest. You went out there and fucked somebody else? Yeah, baby, I did that. I did that fucked up shit. All right, own up to your bullshit, you know? Nah, I tried to smooth the shit over before I left the facility. You know, it made it seem like that was a misunderstanding. Because apparently it was, but not on my end. I understand real good, okay? Even if I don't let you know, I understand what the fuck you saying. But if I tell you I don't understand, that means because there's more than one way to take that, you know, something what somebody said. But other than that, I believe I got good understanding, you know? I really do. Now, I didn't go there dressed like this. I went there looking good. You hear what I'm saying? I even had on my little old $200 sandals. You know, yeah, I went there looking right. I was on point. You know, didn't even realize the lady that I was talking to was from corporate office. And girl, we was having a good time. We were laughing and talking. Maybe they had a problem with that. Maybe the lady felt like, oh shit, she gonna take my job. Baby, I ain't after nobody's job. I just want my own shit. Okay? And if I can't go out there and get a job, maybe it's just meant for me to go and open up my own shit. Because, you know, I've had a couple of businesses of my own in the past. You know, I still got my DBA in a few of them. Maybe I just need to go ahead on and run my own shit and tell everybody else to kiss my ass, you know. And when they see that I blow up or something, or see my name on billboards or my business on billboards, they be like, oh, I remember her. Yeah, remember, motherfucker. You the same motherfucker that had a problem with me. And I really don't want to say that this lady's racist, because she couldn't be. Well, yeah, you could be. You could be. You still could be a racist person. Although you hire people, you know, of a different nationality or color. All right? Or maybe she just got a problem with a person with education. Think about that. It may not have nothing to do with your color, but because you're a smart motherfucker, I'm gonna put it like my brother used to say, you a smart nigga. You know what I'm saying? She don't want no smart nigga around there, because smart niggas know shit. Yeah. They know how to go to the big man. They know how to write a fucking affidavit out. You know, a grievance out. Shit like that. You got a lot of people that sitting up in prison right now, smart as a whip. Hell yeah. And you got some in there that's trying to be as smart as a whip, and that's why they shit ain't went through yet, because they don't know how to write that shit out. You know, I remember this guy that was in prison. He was in there for about, 12 years, 14 years, something like that. And he kept sending me his paperwork. He told me, don't do nothing, just send it in. Well, hell, I did that. And then one day I said, you know what, this was like the 4th time this man has sent me his paper. Let me read over the shit. I proofread that shit. It didn't make no damn sense. I said, fuck this here. I took all this shit and I went and I rewrote it and everything. That motherfucker got out of prison. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes it's the way you word things, you know, in order for you to get what you want. Fuck it. I don't even want to talk about it no more, y'all. I'll see you later.